Hey guys, Keon here, and welcome to the Rocket Hideout, and today we're going to cover the top 10 aesthetic Pokemon in the community. In no particular order besides number 1. Number 1 will actually go out to the best aesthetically looking Pokemon there is. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So for number 10 on the list, I'd have to say is the least aesthetic Pokemon of all of them, but still aesthetic to its core, and it's the Eeveelution's Eevee itself. So Eevee itself is very minimalistic and not as aesthetic as you think, but it still looks cooler than the average Pokemon. The aesthetic surrounding Eevee is Pink Wave with a bit of Poke Wave and Vaporwave. It's cute and creates a soft color palette that's pleasing to look at in the eye. Other Eeveelutions are a lot more aesthetic than Eevee. For example, we have Vaporeon and the Vaporeon Wave, which is abstract sea punk mixed in with Vaporwave and other aesthetics. Just like Eevee, you can change its evolution depending on what you want the aesthetic to be, and the same principle applies to Vaporwave. Each Eeveelution has their own wave and own aesthetic that belongs to them. You just have to explore or create if you want to see more of the wave. Number 9 I would have to say would be Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff has a soft pink wave aesthetic as well, but with added cuteness, I'd say mixed in with her balloon-like shape. Jigglypuff wave is all about Jigglypuff. It's awesome because there's so many different pinks within the wave. You get to feel that old Vaporwave-esque vibes, especially with older looking Vaporwave pieces. It feels like you're seeing Jigglypuff for the first time, I think through Vaporwave-esque goggles of nostalgia. And on top of that, Jigglypuff fans can rejoice because this part of the Pokewave is all about pink and Jiggly. But at the end of the day, there are still Vaporwave and aesthetic tropes within each Pokemon. Just because you haven't seen a Pokemon yet doesn't mean it can be turned Vapor, and Jiggly is a good example of that. Before, I'd never seen Jiggly, but now the Pokemon is everywhere, plastered everywhere, and it makes the wave a little bit more interesting now because you're starting to see more vibrant and pastel colors like pink and pastel pinks and blues. As we continue down the line of Pokemon, you'll start to see an evolution of aesthetics along with the wave. If you haven't found something you like yet, then just create it. And with that said, we head to number 8 on the list. Number 8 goes to Mew. So in the games, I don't really like legendaries besides Zapdos and the 3 legendary dogs, but after seeing this Mew aesthetic, I changed my mind about the Pokemon. So with this aesthetic, it has more original Vaporwave-esque designs mixed in with newer waves you might be familiar with, like the Arizona Wave or even the Sad Boy Wave. But overall, Mew's wave is very versatile in what it can be in and has many functions as well. Mew is just a really good Pokemon to represent in the wave because it's part of the original 151, so fans who stopped after first gen can recognize this bond and aesthetic, and nostalgia feels over them. On top of being a part of so many different waves, the nostalgia amplifies, creating this surreal piece of art with this Pokemon. It's pink but dark too, it's wavy but chill as well, and it depends on what you're looking for and what you want to see within a Pokemon. Number 7 on the list belongs to Suicune. Suicune is interesting because it has an oblique aesthetic. Its main aesthetic is that of a fluoride cup you used to use in school, and when people are associating the fluoride colors to Suicune, it also has this old Pokemon Crystal aesthetic or pink aesthetic that just mixes well with each other. I think Suicune is a really good choice for an aesthetically pleasing Pokemon because of its crystal water-like design, mixing in with different tones and colors, creating one of the most pleasant Vaporwave Pokemon to look at or be a part of. When we look at Pokewave, each Pokemon within the wave has its own aesthetic, and Suicune definitely has a very unique aesthetic worthy of making it on the list. Number 6. So as me and my friend Groby were talking about this video, we were brainstorming what Pokemon to put on this list since there are almost about 1,000 Pokemons. So for number 6 we decided to have Gloom on it. We thought Gloom's dreamy and gloomy aesthetic feels a bit more sad and darker in tones and themes. As we continue to venture into this aesthetic, we start seeing a lot more darker hues and colors like oranges and purples to match Gloom. We start to see a lot more drug references like Gloom and weed. And Gloom fits very well into this category because the mom looks doped out and shit. You have to remember, people in this wave are a lot different from normal people looking in. Stuff like this is the norm to them, so when a normal audience sees this aesthetic or wave mixed in with different elements, it creates this shock factor because no one cares what everyone's opinion is in this wave. Just like Gloom, everyone wants to be chill and free. Creativity, freedom, and sadness is the pinnacle of this wave and this aesthetic. Number 5 has to go to Muck and Grimer. I know I already used these Pokemon in my top 10, but it's just these Pokemons are pretty aesthetic. Muck and Grimer, when you see them in Pokewave space, they're filled with a lot darker themes on top of punk and goth aesthetics as well. We also tend to see how scarce these Mons aesthetics are. When you see Muck and Grimer mixed in with Vaporwave, it's normally side-by-side sad aesthetics and just sad boy and trash gang culture. Muck is also slang for smoking weed, like hella weed, and on top of that, Mud, which is also slang for lean, in a cup is also associated with Muck. By saying that you have Muck in a cup means that you have mud. So having Muck and Grimer on the list makes for a fitting choice for the number 5 spot. Number 4. Wheezing and Coughing come into the number 4 spot with a very purple and smoky aesthetic. Wheezing and Coughing are dope for this aesthetic video. Their color scheme is that grungy purple with smoke coming out, and they're purple so it fits into the purple wave, which is a subgenre of Vaporwave where everything is purple, and this evolutionary line is always associated with bud and smoking as well. On my Discord, you know, like the server I even have a text channel called the Wheezing Lounge, which is like locked to obviously our younger audience, but it's just a channel about posting bud and weed, so you can see like the kind of how to say this influence that it has over some of the stuff that I do as well. And besides that, we also see James using Coughing before it turned into a Wheezing in the anime. And the anime is pretty old and aesthetic due to how old it is, which I think is really dope. Also, what makes Wheezing so cool is that it's grungy as well. Most people who use Wheezing aesthetic is normally looking for that darker theme and tones in their aesthetic, and the entire Wheezing line actually just fits so well because it has like elements of, you know, punk, and it has grunge, pastel goth. It's just really good and versatile. So number 3. Next, on number 3 is Squirtle Wave. So Squirtle Wave is pretty unique. Within Vaporwave, there's an aesthetic called Sea-Punk, and the Squirtle Wave has tons of borrowed elements from Sea-Punk mixed in with a hint of Poke Wave. So in the Squirtle Wave, you'll definitely see the Squirtle Squad around a lot because of its classic squad-like tropes with steampunk on top of cool shades they wear. The feeling you get from seeing this aesthetic is very punk-like with tagging and shit, and a ton of Vaporwave colors with serene ocean of pool water on top of plants and Squirtle himself. For Poke Wave, this is one of my favorite waves because it has a lot of sea-punk and sea-punk. It's like such a totally cool aesthetic. Cool wave for anyone who wants to hop aboard the wave as well. Tropes that you see people do or how well in the Squirtle wave is tagging. I've seen that a lot. The Squirtle Squad in the anime tagged a lot, and so people start tagging in IRL to mimic the aesthetic within the anime. This wave is all about freedom of expression and defiance of higher powers, kind of like old-fashioned punks. And personally, that's why I really love this wave and why I made it on the list. Number 2. Number 2 holds a spot for one of the most iconic Pokemon within the Pokewave that's not on the number 1 spot, and it's Gengar and the Gengar line. This Pokemon adds a more dark and serious tone to the waves along with the aesthetic it's part of. Most people who use Gengar and the Gengar line are looking for a more sad boy, punk, grunge aesthetic for this wave. You'll see a lot of Gengar edits with theme and darker expressions and captions that really hits your emotions and make you think a little harder due to its heavy drug influences and depression associated with it as well. I'm not saying you're going to get depression from it, I'm just saying that people are putting their sadness into the wave within the darker wave. And it has basic sad boy based aesthetics. This wave is supposed to engage with emotion and question your thoughts and emotions through edits, nice art, and music, which is sick since it can question your philosophy and let you taste a bit of the darker side of the wave. Number 1. Number 1 goes to the most iconic Pokemon in the Pokewave ever. It's super impossible to not see this Pokemon because it's the face and staple of Pokewave, and it's Porygon. Woo! So as we all know, Porygon is a Pokemon that was programmed in the OG game lore-wise, so it makes sense that an internet-based Pokemon is reimagined in the Vaporwave space. As we explore, we start to see Porygon turning Vapor, showing a lot of love to other aesthetics in the process. Due to Porygon being an internet-based mon, we also see a wide variety of Porygon edits and embodies what this Pokemon in Vaporwave is all about. It's the most aesthetic Pokemon in the genre, so if you're a Porygon fan, rejoice because this wave puts Porygon on a pedestal. You cannot have Poke Wave without Porygon at all. This wave has a lot of Arizona Wave, along with Pastel and bright colors, Greek and Roman Bus or Thieves, and sometimes you see classic Vapor and Cyberpunk tropes within the wave. As we explore the wave some more, you start to see that Porygon is a whole aesthetic of its own. It gets bigger and bigger every day, and the more edits and music we see coming out, the more Porygon shines in success and beauty. It's one mod that I need to add on the list. It's one of the most aesthetic mods on this list, and to date. Don't add it. If you like this video, make sure to give a thumbs up and turn the bell icon for more videos that I post, and if you agree with this video or disagree or have any opinions, make sure to let me know down in the comments down below. And also let me know what other Pokemon video I should do next. This is Keon from the Rocket Hideout, signing out.